So a lot of gameplay for Starfield has come out. We've gone very long videos and the game looks really cool. Honestly, the game looks great. There's a really interesting parts to it. The sheer scale of the game is very exciting. The variety of the worlds, each world seems to have its own theme. There's been real effort put into the story and the side quests. The characters seem interesting. The combat looks fun. I mean, the idea of fighting in space while actually floating around, and that the weapons you're using actually affect you in space. A ballistic weapon is going to make you float backwards, and an energy weapon is going to be more stable. The varieties of ways in which you can fight in the game seems really cool. I find it funny when they were talking about the so-called pleasure planet. It seems like one of those planets where, your every need can be met. Whatever you want, you can have.
What is now known throughout the solar systems as a pleasure city, where almost anything goes.
And then they show these guys. And I'm just wondering, what were they smoking when they made this? The game looks very exciting. There's a lot of things that are big green flags for the game, like the fact that it's going to be a single player game and it's going to be an offline game. You don't have to be online always like a lot of games nowadays. The fact that it has full mod support is probably the most exciting part of this, because seeing what modders are going to do with this game, that is going to be very cool. Modders are going to have, it's going to be an amazing time for the modding community when they get their hands on this game. But despite all the positives, there are a few things that worry me. So why am I so skeptical of Starfield? There's honestly a number of things that worry me. It's not so much one of these things, but all of them together that make me skeptical. One thing that's going on is that there's information that said that only 10% of the planets will actually have life. So 90% of the planets may be quite empty. It's not 100% clear what they mean by this. Maybe it doesn't have life, but it does have other interesting points that you can enjoy. Maybe there's other things there, but that isn't really clear yet. We know that in the past, Bethesda have promised big, impressive, ambitious games like Fallout 76 and fallen completely flat. It's possible that could be another game. It's possible that could be the same situation, that they've promised something bigger than they're able to pull off. One thing that makes me worry is the lack of land vehicles on the planet. So you can fly around in space, of course. When you actually land on a planet, you have to travel everywhere on foot. If the planets are quite vast and they're quite big, this could be really boring. This could be kind of annoying, especially if you're on one of those planets that apparently is devoid of life and you're just walking around. How easy is it to get back to your base camp? How easy is it to leave? Can you leave immediately? Now, this is somewhat worrying, but also maybe it's a good thing, right? Maybe this is just a gameplay choice and it means that we'll just enjoy the world more. Maybe it means that we'll see more, we won't miss things. Maybe it'll actually heighten the experience. But it's also possible that it's just something, a weird thing that they've left out, which is going to make the game a lot more boring. I wish I could have more faith in Bethesda. I wish that they had, made good on their previous promises. But as of now, it's very hard to trust them. One aspect that could really make the game more immersive is the fact that you can choose a backstory for your character, and that people in the game are actually going to interact with you differently because of your backstory. Now you'll be able to make certain choices and take on certain quests that would only be available to certain characters, or things will go a certain way. Maybe something goes wrong. Maybe they start attacking you because of your backstory. You can befriend people because of your backstory. You can get paid more money for quests because of your backstory. It sounds similar to what we were promised in Cyberpunk, where they spoke about how you're going to have 3 different types of backstories. You could be a corpo, or you could be a nomad, or street punk, and they had absolutely no effect on the game, other than a few minor interactions, which made no difference, really. And people were very disappointed by this. I was disappointed by this. Hopefully this isn't going to be the same thing. Hopefully they've made it so that they generally do make a reasonable difference. Being a whole other person should make a difference after all. If it's just a minor amount of flavor text, or just a couple of quests that have changed, then I really don't think it's that exciting. The ship creation in the game looks really, really cool. The fact that you can make it look however you want, and they showcase this by launching a giant mecha robot into space. I mean, that's pretty cool. The stuff they're showing in the trailer all looks amazing. This is a game that I absolutely want to succeed, and the more I see of the game, the more exciting it looks. It's just that there's such a bad tendency for games to look amazing and not even under-deliver, just not deliver at all. Despite some of the things that are making me worry, there are also a lot of things that are giving me confidence. The fact that they're showing so much more of the game than they did for previous games like Fallout 4, like Fallout 76. They're showing us very in-depth gameplay. They're showing us a lot of details. The amount that they're giving us, the amount of information and details they're giving us is very promising. The fact that if this game were to fail, it would be an enormous blow to Bethesda means that they have every reason to make good on their promises. They're not exaggerating as much as they did with Fallout 76. We're not hearing 16 times the detail. We're hearing Todd Howard be more realistic about the limitations and the things that aren't going to be that great. It does seem like we may be getting a more honest Bethesda now, which is promising for the game itself. I still don't think you should get too excited for a game that hasn't been released yet, but I am staying cautiously optimistic and actually starting to look forward to this game. Yeah, that's my verdict. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. I'd also like to hear your thoughts, so please leave them in the comments.